Andrew, you're going to pick a genre.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to pick a movie. Then we're going to merge those two things together, and we're going to make a new version of that movie of the genre you picked.
I have in front of me a list of Netflix subgenres.
Ooh, the Netflix subgenre. This is a nice touch.
Yes, so I have got 2 genres in mind, and you've got 2 movies.
Yes, I've selected 2 movies. But yeah, I guess I'll go with my first pick, and you'll go with your first pick.
Sure.
We'll say them at the same time.
Okay, zombie horror movie.
American Werewolf in London.
All right, I'll go with my second.
All right, what's your second?
My second idea for a genre is movies for ages 0 to 2.
That works great with both American Werewolf in London and my second pick, which was Pi.
Maybe let's do Pi.
All right, we can do Pi.
Because that you could teach a kid how to count and stuff.
How to count.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Screen to Screen. I'm Andrew and this is Chris.
Why hello there?
Okay, so now I guess the other part that comes with this is what do we put on the screen?
Yes, we do need some sort of game to keep the eyes entertained. I got a suggestion.
Sure, yeah.
There's a certain reoccurring theme, not even theme, a visual motif in the movie, which is ants. How about some ant?
Okay, yeah, sure, I like that. So the movie is Pi, and the genre is it's children between 0 and 2. I feel like if need be, we might want to adjust the age a little bit, because I feel like between 0 and 2... Like, what are you learning between those years?
I mean, at age 0, you're still like looking at pictures upside down, and there's still basic blobs of color.
You're like figuring out how to use your hand,
right?
You know?
You're like, what is this?
So,
that's your fist, kid.
This is like booba.
Like,
like it's very young. But let's see what kind of children's programming we could draw from Pi. I think I mean, it's about numbers. It's about learning numbers.
Yeah, it's about learning the abstract concept of pi.
What if it's not pi? What if it's like 2?
Like the number 2?
Like it's the number 2.
And
he sees 2 everywhere.
Maybe it should be the number 3.
Okay,
and then
so
we can
you want to get
slowly
closer to
make our way into pi.
Okay. So it's a all right. So it's probably got to be shorter for kids.
Yes, we can't make this unless it's like a series.
Okay, it's Pi the series for little baby children.
Yeah. Like we episode 1, what's the number 3? Episode 2 is, I don't know if we started at 3 because now we gotta do the number 1.
So it's like, hi, my name's Max and I love numbers. And
numbers are great.
And he goes over to what's his name's house, the guy from Breaking Bad. I can't remember his name. And he teaches him about the number of the day. They just each episode they go up, like they do an episode. It's a children's series, and each episode Max gets obsessed with a number. First it's 1, then it's 2, then it's 3, and then he's like chased down by like like they
by the numbers.
By the number, like there are different people who use numbers. Like it's for children, so it's sort of like a grocery store clerk uses numbers.
Oh yeah.
You have 3 apples today. And he's chased down. It's like we need that number.
That number's very important.
Don't you know the number 2 is very important? Do you have 2 eyes and 2 ears? Is this a thing?
Like it's a very, it's believable for a children's show,
right? Yeah,
especially like the super young bracket.
Is it still in black and white? Because kids like color these days.
They do like color. Yeah, we probably want to make it.
We probably want it. Yeah, kids like the color. It's not going to hold any attention spans as in black and white.
Oh no.
Not when they could be doing something else.
They could be playing on their iPads.
Yeah, I mean maybe this is an iPad app.
Ooh.
Maybe it's Pi for kids and it's on the iPad.
We just get further and further away.
Well, let's think about Pi the movie and kind of figure out how because he's like a mathematician, or he's what is he? He's he's like an analytics kind of guy, right?
Yeah.
And he finds this like code that series of numbers that sort of like unlocks.
Like he starts seeing them everywhere.
Right.
He becomes obsessed with the notion that like they're more important than they might be, and then he slowly loses his mind until he's eaten alive by ants and dies.
Right. And then he drills a hole in his head.
Yes, he does take a drill to his head.
Oh, and they say don't look at the sun, and that is
great advice for a tiny child.
So there could be a little lesson every episode. Where he's like, it's like when when I was growing up, my mom told me not to cross the street without an adult, and like that's that episode. You know, each episode starts with like, my dad always told me to wash my hands before I eat.
My dad said, wash your hands until you bleed, and I always took that advice to heart.
My grandpa said, always put on a clean pair of underwear to start your day. And every episode has like that's the moral of the episode, and then it's like a series of number games until he learns the lesson at the end.
All right.
And the ants are there, and the ants are his friends.
Okay, all right.
They're.
I was gonna say, what about the ants?
It's sort of like Pee-wee's Playhouse, like where you have like the little ant farm and they like spell things out. It could be that. It could be that kind of thing where it's sort of like not part of the main plot, but it's like, you know, because kids, they have short attention spans.
Yeah.
Cut away from the plot, see what the ants are up to.
Have like the ants their input on what's going on out there.
Yeah, but it could just be like a fun little aside where every episode's got a number of the day. It's got a moral, and maybe there's like one more thing, and like the ants kind of like act it out. Like, what are the ants doing today? It's very Pee-wee's Playhouse. Like, what are you guys up to? And like they're spelling things.
I think Pee-wee is a really good building base, like a foundation for this idea. Yeah,
so he's like a wacky math guy, and it's one of these shows where it's like, this is for smart kids, like or like it's sort of like Bill Nye, maybe for a younger audience, but it was sort of like, when I was watching that, I'm like, oh, I'm a smart kid, I'm watching Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Like, oh, you're watching that show? I watch Pi.
Yeah, right.
It's like, Billy, you're 1 year old. You have a finger knuckle deep in your nose right now.
So the characters are Max, because he's the only character's name I can remember. All right, so the characters, we got Max, and he'll be like the host of the show. I guess Saul is the guy, the old guy.
All right.
And then what was it? Marcy Dawson. It's like, hi, I'm Marcy Dawson, right?
Yes, the very chipper lady.
Yeah, she could be showing up. And then there's like the little girl. It's like, hey, add these numbers together. Or, what's 75 divided by 82?
I have very important work to be doing. Get out.
But that could be like, it's like a Pee-wee's Playhouse thing where he's like doing his math and she comes over
and starts just like asking other math questions.
Yeah.
It's getting him confused.
Like, Max, what's math? Like, what's math?
Why, what isn't math?
Math is everywhere.
Math is literally all I see every day.
And then he's got like his neighbor, and she comes over. Like, she asks for something. I can't remember what it is, but I think
it was sugar, wasn't it?
Was it sugar? Oh, it's all right. It's the classic cup of sugar. This is a very Pee-wee's Playhouse, or like to a lesser extent, the Weird Al show. It's that sort of like the host, all the weird stuff in his apartment, and then like friends come over. I
like the idea of like, the ants are always in the background of the scenes, and then like we go into like a claymation world with the ants.
Yeah. When we zoom in now, the claymation.
Like really lean into the Pee-wee's Playhouse idea.
Yeah.
I also think a nice thing is, I would say Pi is about obsession. Like, that's the theme of it.
Right.
And I think that's a lesson that children do need to learn, especially today. Like, we live in a world where when you're like 3, you're given an iPad.
Right.
And we have trouble right now where like kids just play games all the time and they don't really engage or do anything. And don't get me wrong, I'm not like moralizing. I just play games all the time.
Yeah. So Max has to learn. He has to learn a lesson.
Yeah.
Like we said at the beginning, and then maybe Saul comes in. It's like, and they're playing Go.
Yes, they did like playing.
They gotta play Go's got to be a big part of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so like he sets him straight for like he's like the moral voice.
He's the moral compass for everybody.
We're like Max has a new obsession every week. We're like maybe it's like he's got to throw a party for his friends.
Ooh.
And it's like it's got to be the best. He's like, Max, you have to in moderation, Max. You can't get obsessed with everything.
I like it because we could have him get obsessed with pie, but it's actually just pie, like the food pie.
Well, that would be the pilot episode, I feel like.
That's a good idea.
You'd have to start with that.
It's a good starting place.
Now, is the name of the show Pie? Is it like Pie for Kids? Like, what do we... Like, what is that? Like Pie the series, or...
Pie Gal the show.
Pie Gal. Pie... Like, pie... What if it's like Pie in the Sky, but we spell pie, P-I?
Yeah.
Pie in the Sky? I don't know.
It's tough because a TV show, like, we have to talk about the inner workings of multiple episodes now.
Right.
The arcs of a movie.
Like we've got the series, we're starting to flesh out a pilot. Maybe we need a few ideas for episodes.
I think we do need a few ideas for episodes. Let's talk about the pilot episode.
We're doing a show Bible, essentially.
Yeah.
Okay, so the pilot episode is about the food pie.
The food pie. He gets obsessed with it. Like he's making crust over and over and over again, trying to make the perfect crust.
Oh, and then there's math there when you're like making a recipe,
weighing out all the different ingredients.
And then when you're cutting up, like I have 8 friends showing up, so that means I need 8 pieces of pie. It's that division kind of thing.
Maybe we should have less than 8 friends. That way, it's like simple mathematics.
Okay.
Addition and subtraction.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because if he has 8 friends coming over, pie cut into 8 pieces, everyone gets a piece.
Right.
Like, I need to make sure I have 2 pieces left over for my friends.
This is kind of like Blue's Clues.
A little bit.
Maybe that's more like the angle. Maybe like somewhere like Pee-wee's Playhouse, Blue's Clues kind of area.
Yeah, like a middle ground between those 2 shows.
Like he's always talking to the camera. Like he's always including the audience in all of his obsessions. But yeah, he's got a party. He's just bought some pie. Maybe there's like a new pie store or something, and he wants to invite his friends over to try it. But he eats too much pie.
He gets sick.
Yeah. Like he invites Saul over to play Go, or
but there's no place to play Go because there's pie.
Because there's too much pie, and he's obsessed with pie. Yeah, I think that's the best pilot. It's like, Max, you're obsessed with pie. You're seeing it everywhere.
You got pie in the brain, Max. You gotta get off the pie. You don't understand. Pie's the perfect food. What do you mean, Max? Well, pies are like the planet Earth. We have a crust on the planet.
And a warm filling.
A warm filling, and then on the other side, there's crust again. What's that got to do with anything, Max? I don't know. It's all I can think about.
Is this a STEM show rather than a math show? Like we could kind of branch out a little bit.
That could be good because it's like very, very basic sciences, but with an emphasis on math.
I think like as much math as science. Like way more math than Bill Nye, and probably way less science than Bill Nye. But there's still science involved,
and that's good because again, this is for children.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what you're paying attention to right now, child. There's only colors on the screen.
But like technology and engineering, like you could do like computer stuff or simple crafts you could do at home to teach you about the science. Each episode starts, it's the moral, like, my mom always told me that desserts are better after dinner. But
they're not here to stop me. I'm gonna eat pie for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
I think. Oh man! All right. This is how I see it. Like the camera is like up in the like looking at the sun at the beginning, and he does a voiceover. It's like, my mom always told me that pie wasn't for breakfast. That was a dinner food. And it's all in black and white. And then like the color like seeps into the picture, and the camera like pans down, and he's on the street of New York. And now he's talking to the camera, and he's like, but she's not here today, so let's go get some pie.
What kind of pie is your favorite kind of pie?
Yeah.
I like apple, too.
Yeah, he gives like that pause and like...
the pause and reply.
And then we meet like the pie store guy, and maybe that guy he meets in the cafe is there in the movie.
Yeah.
And he teaches him something. Like, he's always there. And then he gets obsessed with the pie, and then, there's like a whole thing, and then he invites his friends over, and they have like a bit of an intervention or whatever. It's like, you're right, guys. I got way too obsessed with pie.
You're right.
I need to learn moderation. And like, that's the word of the day.
That's the word of the day, yeah. A word that children that young would never be able to parse.
Yeah. I mean, if we're still doing 0 to 2, this is already way too advanced. I feel like this has to be like...
Let's just say children's show.
It's a children's show, yes.
I know we started with 0 to 2, but like...
It's so bizarre. I can't even imagine what that kind of show would be like.
If we were doing a 0 to 2 version of Pi, and I could bang this out right now because there's not much to talk about, it would literally be from the point of view of ants, and they're just seeing like moving colors and sounds. Because like, if you've ever watched a TV show for children that young, it's just repetitive songs.
Yeah.
It's bright colors, and like there are no plots or anything.
Right. They're not ready for it.
But yeah, I like the idea of having a word of the day.
Yeah, a moral of the day. Like a word tied into the moral.
Into the moral, yes.
A little simple plot. We got the friends from the neighborhood. It's sort of like a Sesame Street style, where it's like it's New York City, right? If I'm remembering correctly,
yes.
Right? Yeah. And
100% New York City.
So, there's the friends in the neighborhood. There's the cartoon or puppet or whatever ants. I
like claymation ants.
Claymation is fun.
Like I'm kind of picturing the.
They stop the plot and kind of do their own thing.
Yeah, like I'm picturing California Raisin style claymation going on in there.
Yeah. So you gotta have the little ant stories, like, and they could be about anything. Like we'll get we'll hire out some animator. Can just do whatever they want. It's just to break up the story a little bit.
It's for the kids that are watching that are 0 to 2. The ant segment's definitely for that.
They need something to learn.
Because the ants are doing something related, but it's also just like sort of a goofy good time. That way the kids have...
Right.
You can't have a long thread in a children's show.
Like maybe the ants are the good example. Like if Max is doing the wrong thing all the time, the ants can be they're doing it right.
That's a good idea.
That way the kids don't get confused. Like, well, if Max is doing it, should I do that too? But the ants are there to show the right way. Like it's this subtle sort of like cut to the ants, and they always do it right. And then every episode has a little bit of science involved or math. Like maybe each one has like science or math at the helm, and maybe like some sort of do-it-yourself. You have, like, here's the thing you could do at home. Like, we have all these segments every week. We have the moral, we have the do-it-yourself, we have the ants cartoon, and we have sort of like the overarching plot. And it's kind of like maybe Sesame Street in that sort of plot segment sort of look to it. I believe, if I know my ants, I believe that all ants that don't have wings are female.
I believe that is true.
So,
at least for most ant species.
I think what it is that when ants they have wings, and if they mate, they lose them, but males die. I think it's not. I don't know. It's some weird thing, but I feel like we should be scientifically accurate and have these characters be female ants, so the kids can learn about ants.
Yeah, might as well. No reason not to learn about ants.
It's those little touches, I think, keep the science well, because then the kids can go. They could teach their parents something, because that's a fact that I am fairly sure about, but I don't think it's a well-known thing. Movies like Ants and Bugs Life don't really represent that accurately.
Yeah.
So it might be kind of fun, just our kids can teach their parents a little something. That's always fun. Do we keep the original cast?
I feel like...
I guess we got to recast. I mean, the little kid's probably
very old now.
Older than us now.
And I think, is the Saul guy, is the actor dead?
No, he's in Better Call Saul right now.
Oh, that's Saul.
Well, I mean, he's not playing Saul. He just happens
to have the same name.
Yeah.
Don't lie to me, Andrew.
I mean, they're not even spelled the same way.
You know, I haven't watched this Better Call Saul show, so
Better Call Saul is not about him. He's just in it. And Saul is the name of a character. Why would Better Call Saul be about a character from Pi?
Because his name's Saul.
In Pi, the ants live in the computer.
That's true.
Right? And the sink.
And inside him eventually.
And inside his brain.
They live everywhere.
Can the brain be a character? The brain in the sink?
Ooh.
Like, that could be fun.
I think the brain in the sink would have to be a Muppet, and it would have to happen, like, not all the time. Mm-hmm. Like, I think...
Well, because, like, a show about learning, a brain being a character would be great.
That would be pretty good. I'm thinking, like, when Max is, like, at the height of obsession, that's when maybe the brain is a character. That way he could talk to his own brain.
Yeah. Like, he's having a conversation with his brain in the sink. That's pretty good. It's like, well, you know, I really wanted to go to the baseball game, but I've got to wash my dad's car. Like, now, Max, what do you think is the right thing to do?
Go to the baseball game?
Well, that would leave your father without a clean car, and so on.
And so on and so forth.
Yeah, that's good. Like it's sort of the morality, like, or maybe just like think things through. Like it's the brain is sort of like the voice of reason, in sort of like it's him puzzling things out for himself.
Yeah.
Okay. What else? What else is in
Pi?
Wasn't there like that old guy who's like, paper, please? Like when he's on the subway.
Oh,
Like.
It's been a while since I've seen Pi. I know I brought Pi in.
Me too. But I'm remembering these little bits. Like he's on the subway and he's like, "Hey, can I see that newspaper?" And he gives it to the news. You know, and he's reading and he's like, "Look at the stocks." And then all of a sudden the guy's like, "Hey, paper, please."
Paper.
I think Marcy Dawson would be very fun to like to come in all the time. Maybe sort of like the annoying neighbor sort of role where she's always so like chipper and like okay, all right.
Oh, that's right. He believed like Men in Black were after him, like feds.
Right. Like there were all these, but there were a bunch of different people. Like,
but like he always assumed like if someone was unknown to him, like that's one of them.
Yeah.
That's something we could put in there.
Like what? Like the bad guys kind of like, creeping in on him? Like
just creepy black-suited people always trying to take whatever he's doing that episode. Yeah. Like, I'm really in the pie, and like it's like Swiper from Dora the Explorer.
Oh, yeah.
Like he puts a pie in the windowsill and you see like a sunglasses, fedora-wearing guy.
When you say that, I imagine the Muppet from Sesame Street where it's like, would you like to buy an O?
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Or is an N, yeah, but I always liked that guy. Yeah, that'd be good. Like the little shady guy.
Yeah, have like the shady.
It's like, are you stealing my pie? Like, no, I'm just admiring it from the windowsill.
Stealing your pie? This is pie I found on the windowsill. I can't steal that.
He could be the example of the bad guy. He's sort of like a schemer from Shining Time Station, or Oscar the Grouch,
or Swiper.
Like he's the bad guy who always learns a lesson.
Yeah,
that's good.
He's usually the one that like, well, I want the pie. Well, you can have one slice of the pie. It's called sharing.
Yeah. And
Max, I don't want to share.
Max learns to do the right thing from the good characters and the bad characters.
Exactly. He learns what not to do from the bad government person trying to steal his pie.
Yeah, it's like, I don't like it when people steal from me, so maybe I shouldn't steal from anyone else.
Yeah.
And they gotta play Go a lot.
Yes, I feel like...
Or a different game every week.
A different game is good. I feel like the game is nice because it could be kind of a framing device for what's the plot going to be this week.
Yeah.
The episode opens on them playing a board game, and Saul's just like, so what are you doing today, Max? Like, I'm really into pie. I gotta tell you, I love pie.
I mean, and it would be whatever. We're just using pie as an example as the pilot, but it would be whatever, the obsession of the week.
Like another episode could be computers, like he's building the computer.
Right. Too much computer time.
Too much, yes, because moderation is a reoccurring morality lesson in this.
Yeah, it's like, what, I'm talking to my friends online? It's like, yes, but sometimes... You do, too much time on the social media can start making you paranoid.
Too real. This is a children's show.
Well, they gotta learn when they're young.
We gotta get them used to the idea that fake news will be a very important part of their life from now until the day they die. There's
the microchip. It's that very big microchip.
Yes, the very not so microchip.
Can that be a character?
Ooh, the microchip.
It's like Conky. Like, well, Max.
I think a fun thing could be like each episode, he becomes obsessed with a thing. He builds a thing. Like he makes a pie. He makes the computer.
Right.
He makes the chip. And then those are characters from that point forward.
All right. So it's almost like a little bit less of like a Western look, but I know in a lot of anime they add characters. I've seen over episodes.
Usually Western shows, they like the cast is introduced in the first episode, and the cast is the same, and then you have like cameo roles.
Right. Yeah.
That happen. But anime really likes having like the base cast, like your trio or your quartet of humors or whatever. And then they add on over time.
That can be kind of a fun thing.
Yeah. Bring a little bit of Asian flair to it.
All right. And so, he gets obsessed and he builds himself a new friend, or he meets a new friend, or, it kind of works in that way.
So here's what I'm thinking. Pilot, he gets obsessed with pie. He makes pies all the time. He doesn't have ants yet.
See, that's what I was thinking. The ants get attracted to the pie.
And that's how we get the ants.
Yeah. All right. I was right on there with you.
And then maybe the next episode he gets obsessed with computers. He builds his own computer, and that could be a character going forward.
And Marcy Dawson wants to give him the new chip.
Yeah.
Because like so that's something. She wants to give him the chip to do work for him, but she's given him the raw deal, and sort of like she learns a lesson where like everyone's always learning stuff. They're learning morality. They're learning science.
So like, I think the format would essentially be, we have our main character Max. He introduces the theme of the episode, but from a neutral standpoint.
Right.
Like, I like pie. And then you have the government spook, who's the bad element. Like, I want all these pies. I'm going to steal all your pies. Right. Saul is always the voice of reason, but he always does it in too straightforward a way. It's like, you can't have that many pies. That's too abstract for him, so he has to learn a lesson.
But it could also be like, you can't have too many pies. Well, why not? Like, well, that's just the way it is.
You can't have too many pies. Oh, he's right. You can't have too many pies. And then like he learns because he gets ants. The government employee gets a stomach ache, and he's like, it's right. If you have too many pies, you get sick. But I could share these pies with my friends. So like, he learns to moderate him for himself, and he learns to share.
Yeah.
And the government employee learns none of that. Like, he eats too many pies, and he doesn't share.
Yeah.
So maybe like the government employee like has a buddy with him, and the buddy leaves because he wouldn't share the pies.
Yeah.
It's like, the government spook, he didn't share his pies, and now he doesn't have any friends.
Well, thank you for watching Screen to Screen. If you've got any other ideas for episodes, let us know. And if you've got maybe a genre or a movie or both that you want us to do,
if you want to see one of these fun improv episodes, you provide us with the movie and the genre, and we'll do it.
Or one of you provide one, and you next you provide the other.
All right.
2 different comments.
One person comment a movie. The person below that will do the genre, and then we'll combine those two.
Or you can comment on each other's. I don't care.
That works too.
However you want to do it.
You guys figure it out. You're smart.
Well, I guess we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.